Welcome to the Mystery Snapshots of History, where the past holds more secrets than you ever imagined. Captured in 1930-inch, the former Belgian Congo. This photograph shows Italian explorer Ilio Gotti during an expedition. He is pictured alongside two local guides and a gorilla under close observation. The camouflage pattern known as dazzle, widely used in World War I, appears in this image. It was intended to confuse enemy observers, making it harder to judge both the direction and the speed of military ships. On the 5th of January, 1921, an image records a cave-like opening inside an iceberg. This was documented during the British Antarctic expedition, led by explorers from the United Kingdom. The Brewster armor, one of the earliest fully functional protective suits, is displayed in this image. Created in the early 20th century, it was designed to provide soldiers with improved safety on the battlefield. Taken on May 17, 1921. This photograph shows medium Eva presenting a luminous figure between her hands during a séance in France. Such practices were common during the spiritualist movement that was highly popular at the time. From the 1962nd, a shoe-shaped telephone is displayed. The object combines a functioning telephone with the form of an ordinary shoe, creating a curious and playful design. At the Art Students League dance in New York in 1955, participants used creative makeup technique. The photograph shows two people with eyes painted directly on their eyelids, producing a striking illusion. A man poses beside his longtime friend in 1910. The image conveys companionship and connection, reflecting the style of personal portraits that were common in the early 20th century. Captured in 1939, a German soldier is photographed using a horse as a brace to steady his aim. The image illustrates how horses were still relied upon in many armies during a time of technological transition. This photograph shows some of the floats featured in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade of 1939, held in New York City. The annual event, first organized in 1924, had already become a celebrated tradition. Studio portraits of babies from the late 19th century illustrate common practices of the Victorian era. These photographs show infants posed in formal settings, often with only part of their faces exposed for the camera. Captured in Salem, Massachusetts, on the morning of the 15th of July, 1921. This image shows four bright objects in the sky. The phenomenon was observed by several people and remains one of the many curious aerial sightings of the period. In 1865, a woman chose to transform herself into a living doll as a form of personal expression. Her unusual appearance and behavior drew considerable attention, reflecting a distinctive and eccentric identity. An image from 1908 depicts a typical children's playground of the era. The equipment, made largely of wood and metal, highlights safety standards that were very different from those recognized today. During the 1952nd, Easter Bunny costumes appeared very different from modern versions. These outfits often featured exaggerated shapes and simple designs, giving them a curious and unusual appearance for their time. In Chicago in 1948, a courtroom image shows a man pleading with his wife for forgiveness. The photograph captures an emotional moment during a divorce hearing held at the time. A landmark diplomatic scene from 1979 at Camp David shows Anwar Sadat, Jimmy Carter, and Menachem Begin together. The image records the leaders of Egypt, the United States, and Israel during an important peace negotiation. Veterans of Napoleon's army were photographed in France in 1858. The image shows an official gathering of former soldiers who had once served under Napoleon Bonaparte. In 1977, people are seen lining up outside a theater in the United States to watch Star Wars. The photograph shows eager fans awaiting the release of a film that would soon become a global cultural phenomenon. A historic moment from the 1966 Boston Marathon is preserved in this image. Bobby Gibb became the first woman to finish the race, achieving the milestone despite not having an official bib number. This image shows legendary baseball player Lou Gehrig shortly before his retirement. He was regarded as one of the most admired and respected athletes in American sports during the first half of the 20th century. In the 1942nd, a protective mask featuring the face of Mickey Mouse was created. The design aimed to help children feel safer and more comfortable when wearing respiratory protection during emergencies. Kevsour warriors of Georgia are shown in the early 1902nd wearing traditional armor. The photograph captures men from the Caucasus Mountain region practicing coordinated sword movements as part of their martial traditions. In Los Angeles during the 1952nd, a convertible car is displayed with a transparent roof design. The vehicle features a bubble-shaped top, representing an innovative experiment in automobile styling of that decade. An image from 1882 shows a tricycle, designed by Charles W. Aldreve. The vehicle stands out for its unusually large front wheel, an inventive concept that reflected the mechanical experimentation of its era. In the 1952nd, one of the most popular social fads was the telephone booth challenge. Groups of people attempted to squeeze into a single booth, turning the practice into a worldwide trend that symbolized playful competition. A collection of decorative glassware displayed around 1,900 demonstrates the detailed craftsmanship valued at the time. These carefully made pieces were common in refined households and reflected the elegant taste of the period. This photograph shows one of the earliest sightseeing buses in New York, dating to the 1942nd. The vehicles had open frames, allowing passengers an unobstructed view of the city as they traveled through its streets. A man in Washington, D.C., is seen in 1968 holding a sign that reads, "Happiness is Fime-elation." The photograph was taken at Resurrection City during the Poor People's Campaign, a movement calling attention to poverty in the United States. A family from the 1932nd is shown driving through a rural area. The image depicts the group enjoying an outdoor ride together in a period vehicle, a glimpse into everyday life during the Depression era. The Abilene, Texas, racing team is photographed in 1967. The image captures a group of smiling athletes posing proudly in their sports uniforms before competition. In Houston in 1928, an iceman delivers a block of ice weighing 25 pounds. The photograph shows him carrying the heavy block on his shoulder, a common sight before widespread household refrigeration. In Tasmania in 1903, Fanny Cochran Smith was recorded singing traditional songs. The image is linked to an important moment in cultural preservation, as she represented one of the last living speakers of her indigenous language. A busy street scene in Jerusalem from the year 1920 shows signs and shops visible along the road. The photograph, taken more than a century ago, reflects the commercial life of the city at that time. Around 1930-inch New York. Members of the Fat Men's Club are photographed during a meeting. The group consisted of men who celebrated camaraderie, good humor, and above all, the joy of eating well together. In 1958, a photograph inside the Mint Casino in Las Vegas shows a slot machine on Fremont Street. The scene reflects one of the popular attractions that drew visitors from across the country. A champagne inspector wearing a protective mask is shown in this photograph. The equipment was developed to ensure safety while handling pressurized bottles, reducing the risk of dangerous accidents. In Houston, Texas, in 1966, a photograph shows a car parked by the roadside with its trunk completely filled with used tires. The unusual scene presents a curious look at everyday life at the time. On the 5th of November, Maureen Murray won the Princess Diana look-alike contest in Washington, D.C., representing Alexandria, Virginia. She appeared as contestant number 18, dressed in an elegant outfit and wearing a confident smile. Around 1982, 1983-inch Daytona Beach. A demonstrator protested against swimwear, captured by photographer Keith McManus. The image shows the individual holding a sign while standing on the beach sand. In 1944, United States soldiers are photographed speaking with a member of the Swiss Guard. The scene takes place in Vatican City, located in Rome. During the later years of the Second World War, An exercise machine from 1936 was designed to massage and move the legs. The equipment worked through vibration and rolling, intended as a method to reduce inches and improve body tone. Actors are shown recording an episode of the radio program Gangbusters, a form of entertainment popular during the 1932nd and 1942nd. The broadcasts were live, with sound effects created manually inside the studio. In 1970, Hans Dong, known as the world's pole-sitting champion, was photographed. He is seen perched high above the water, participating in a challenge that became a curious spectacle of the era. A photograph depicts an individual dressed as a skeleton, adding an unusual and mysterious touch to the surroundings. The striking costume was chosen to create a memorable visual effect. This authentic image from the 1932nd shows a muffin vendor on the streets of London. He is dressed in the traditional clothing typical of street food sellers of the period. In 1967, a photograph shows an elephant carrying a person dressed as a well-known comic book character. The unusual form of transport makes the image stand out for its curious and imaginative nature. A couple in Atlantic City won a dance marathon in the United States. They danced for an extraordinary 473 hours, setting one of the longest continuous dance records of the time. A dining table set for 14 guests in 1946 is captured in this image. The people seated appear unaware of what was about to take place. As the photograph preserves a moment of anticipation before an important announcement, a protective cover designed to shield the wearer from elements that might cause discomfort appears in this image, used primarily outdoors. Such accessories were practical solutions commonly developed in earlier decades. An early 20th century photograph shows an airship docking at a mooring mast. The scene records a once common practice when airships were widely used for long-distance travel. From the 1932nd, an image shows a meeting of the Mickey Mouse Club. All participants wore masks of the character, reflecting the enormous popularity the club had among children at the time. This image shows Jacques Planté, the first ice hockey goaltender to wear a protective mask during an official game. The milestone occurred in 1959, when he introduced the mask as a safety measure that soon became standard in the sport. A photograph from the 1932nd shows what a mobile home looked like at the time. With its simple and compact design, the unit was hitched to a vehicle, allowing families to travel while bringing their dwelling with them. During the resource shortages of 1942, many women developed a creative way to simulate stockings. Makeup was applied to the legs, with eyeliner used to draw lines that imitated the seams of real hosiery. This image captures actress Jessie Matthews in the 1932nd, wearing an exceptionally small headpiece. The photograph highlights a memorable moment in entertainment fashion and reflects the elegance that characterized her career. A conceptual design for a portable television was recorded in 1967. The innovative model reflected the era's surge of technological experimentation, aimed at making entertainment more accessible in everyday life. An aerial view of New York City in 1939 shows crowded streets filled with pedestrians. A notable detail of the time is that nearly everyone is wearing hats, reflecting a fashion custom that was widely observed in urban settings. A smiling laboratory technician is photographed while observing couples kissing, part of an experiment testing lipstick durability under real-world conditions. Such tests were common in cosmetic research of past decades, intended to improve product performance. Children at the Madonna House Daycare in New York are shown resting and cooling off in 1941. The image depicts a group of young children enjoying free time together on a warm summer day. In London in 1979, Michael Jackson was photographed dressed as Charlie Chaplin. The image shows the artist paying tribute to the famous silent film character through both costume and performance. A 1971 photograph from the Lorraine Public Library in Ohio captures the aftermath of a domino effect collapse. The image shows a librarian observing the fallen shelves, a scene that reveals both the accident and its impact. From the 1982nd, an image shows a classroom celebrating Halloween. Children in costumes are gathered in a decorated room, surrounded by pumpkins and holiday figures typical of the season. Rosalind Russell is photographed riding a bicycle on the set of the 1966 film, The Trouble with Angels. The image shows the actress smiling as she pedals through the studio's filming area. A girl with a serious expression holds the hand of an old photograph, with both the date and location unknown. The image depicts the child standing beside the figure in the picture, creating a moment of visual continuity across time. From 1954, a portable bed installed inside a car is displayed. The aluminum-framed bed was designed as a travel accessory, allowing passengers to rest while on the road. A 1972 photograph shows cheetah helicopters performing a ceremonial flyover in India. The Chetak model aircraft are seen flying in formation, marking a moment of military precision and display. A grandfather is shown playing the piano with focus and dedication. Though the date and location are unspecified, the image preserves a quiet moment of personal expression through music. Faces at Avits in 1940, showing portraits of individuals carefully documented as they were identified upon their arrival at a confinement camp located in Central Europe. Within the Stutthof camp during the 1942nd, a photograph captures a uniformed woman. The image shows Jenny Wanda Barkman standing next to a large pile of shoes, items taken from those brought into the camp. A record from South Asia in 1971 provides a glimpse into the social climate of the time. The photograph reflects the daily realities and hardships experienced by civilians during Bangladesh's independence movement. In December 1941, a diver was photographed after surfacing from inside the wreck of the USS Arizona in Hawaii. His body was covered in dark debris as he emerged from the sunken battleship, a stark reminder of the aftermath left by the attack on Pearl Harbor. In 1917, a British soldier is photographed holding a damaged helmet. His steady expression and the visible mark left on the helmet serve as a direct record of the realities faced on the battlefield during the First World War. From the 1942nd, an image shows a child placed inside a cylindrical medical device known as the iron lung. This machine was used in pediatric care to assist breathing during serious medical treatments of the time. A photograph from 1914 depicts Belgian soldiers accompanied by dog-drawn cannons. They were on their way toward Western Europe during a period of intense military movement in the early days of the First World War. In Pittsburgh during the 1942nd, a controlled experiment exposed a car to 3 million volts of electricity. The image shows the vehicle struck by a high-voltage test designed to study the effects of electrical force. On the 21st of September, 1979, in Chicago, a photograph records an action sequence during the filming of The Hunter. The image shows a car used for a controlled stunt driving off an elevated parking structure as part of the production. Around 1936, workers were photographed during the construction of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. The image shows them installing large metal structures on the main suspension cables, a crucial stage in building the landmark bridge.